Hi there and welcome to Subscribe To. Subscribe is the app which makes it really easy to embed a newsletter sign-up form on your website or design a standalone sign-up form. In this video we're going to give a quick introduction to the builder and how to get started with it. For more detailed videos, we've got a vast array of different videos set up in the library looking at specific areas, but this video will give a brief introduction to getting started with the builder. When you first load the builder, you'll be presented with this screen here. So the first thing you'll be asked to do is give your subscriber a name. So this is a user-friendly name just used to identify the subscribe form and used as the title of your form. So let's give it a name. When you've finished doing that, just hit update. Okay, we're ready to start building our form. This is the default form that you will see, but you can customize it as much as you want so it matches your website and content perfectly. All the design is done from the right hand side here. This menu will change depending on what screen you're on, and the form will always appear on the left hand side. You can see at the bottom right, we've got this auto save button. This will automatically save your design every 60 seconds. When you've finished designing, click on the red Save and Exit button. This will save all your changes and exit the builder. The bottom left hand side here is Undoable. This keeps track of all your recent changes, so you can hop between changes if you want. You can click on the history bar here to view all the recent changes that you've made. So as we've only just loaded this form, we haven't made any changes yet, but you can browse them and select from different changes here if you wish to go back in time. Top left, we have the help menu. This is perfect to find all the other video guides to help get started. You can see here our documentation button. This will contain all the video guides. The Getting Started link will provide a quick screen tutorial of showing the basic elements of the builder. And Error Check provides a quick error checker that will have a look at your form, the design, the settings of it, just to make sure everything looks okay before you start using it. So we'd always advise doing that before you actually start using your form. The Actions menu up here provides some of the actions associated with your form. So we have the form name. This is the form name we set a minute ago. We can click on it to edit the form name again, or just close the window. Preview form enables us to preview what our form is going to look like on both desktop and mobile. This is great to give an indication of how it's both going to render for different size screens. Embed form we'll touch upon later. This enables us to start using our form when we've finished designing it. Okay, let's jump right in and start setting our form up. So at the moment we can see our form is set to a pop-up form. So when we load our website, this form will pop up on top of the website, ready to asking the subscriber to join your newsletter. But you've also got a few other options. An embedded form here will embed the form on your website with your content sitting around it. This may be perfect if you wish to include a newsletter sign-up form on the footer of your website, for example. Also, a floating form will float the form here in one of the corners of your website. So you can see here it will float on the bottom right-hand corner of our site. And as the user scrolls up and down your web page, it will automatically be pinned to the corner that you selected. The user can also always close the form if they don't want to use it. And a standalone form. This is perfect if you wish to design a landing page. So this form will not be embedded on your website and doesn't have any association to your website. You'll be provided with a standalone URL which you can share with friends, colleagues or on social media. Okay, next down here we have the workflow. At the moment we can see we're viewing the subscribe form. If we click here, when the user submits the form, they will be shown this message, the form complete screen, so you can make customizations to this as much as you like. Let's go back to our subscribe form. By default, the form is set to a single opt-in. So when the user completes the form and hits subscribe, they'll be automatically added to a mailing list of your choice. If you want a little more verification, you can select a double opt-in form. When we select a double opt-in form, the user completes the form, hits subscribe. They're then sent an email asking them to verify their email address and confirm that they want to join your mailing list. They will only be added to your mailing list when they click on that link inside the verification email. If they fail to click on the link, they won't be added to your mailing list. This provides the ultimate level of opt-in security. This prevents automatic bot submissions and people entering fake or invalid email addresses. It ensures that the user's email address is valid and correct before being added to your mailing list. Let's go back to a single opt-in form. The next setting here is subscribe to. So we need to nominate a mailing list inside our email blaster that new users will be added to. This is nice and easy. Just click on the menu and select a mailing list that you've already got. So let's select web subscribers. Now, when someone completes our form, they'll be automatically added to this mailing list inside your email blaster, so no further action is required on your part. The next option here is email alerts. By default, this would be turned off. If you turn it on, it will ask you for an email address. You can provide an email address. So every time someone completes your form, you'll be automatically sent an email confirmation with details of what they submitted. This is perfect if you wish to provide a little bit more visibility to see what's happening to your form. We can turn it off by clicking the close button. Okay, the next menu option is our content menu. This is where we go to add content blocks. So if you wish to add text, images, or extra form elements, you can do so from here. The interface is completely drag and drop, so why don't we try adding another field? Let's add another field asking for the person's name. We click it, drag it, and drop it on our desired location. So perhaps let's ask for their name just before their email address. Mouse over it, drop. Okay, we can see our extra input field has been added. We can mouse over any element and you'll see control buttons will appear. The first one is the edit button. Clicking on this will enable us to edit and change this input field. The second one is the clone button. This is great if you wish to copy this for another duplicate to be on your screen. So if I click on it, look, I can see I've got two input fields now. And the third one is the delete button. So if you no longer want this field, mouse over, click the delete button and just confirm our choice, and then it's gone. And finally, over here we have the styles menu. This provides a little bit more flexibility to how your form is going to look. You can customize the colors, borders, how wide the form is, and other settings. So you can scroll through here. You can see we can change the background colors. So maybe we want to change the background color here. Let's open background left, select a new color, and click on select color. Again, if we wish to take that off, click on it, select a new color, and click on select color. You can also add background images. You'll see over here you can change the overall width of your form. So we can make it a little smaller or bigger if needed. We've got a vast array of other customization options. You can work through these as desired, but by default you may not want to change them. For example, we can see the font menu here. We can change the default font that our form will use. At the moment, all the fonts will be in a dark grey. Perhaps we wish it to be black. There we go, we can see that's updated. All the menus are collapsible to make it easier to navigate around. So if you finish using a menu, you can just collapse it so it's not taking up too much screen space. Let's hop back over to our design. So we can see here we're starting to build a design. So we added an input field earlier on, but we didn't set it up. So let's start asking for the person's name. We can mouse over it, click on the edit button. Next, we just need to set our question or default text. So let's ask for their name, your name. And next is the map to option. So when they fill in their name here, what do we want to do with this bit of data? Where do we want to store it? If we open it up and we see we've got a selection of fields here. So let's store their name in the first name field in your mailing list. So now when a person completes this form field, the data that they enter here will be automatically stored in the first name field of your mailing list. You'll see here we've got a force field option, yes or no. By default, this is always turned off. So if they submit the form, in this current state, they don't have to complete this form field, but perhaps you want it as a compulsory field. Selecting yes will change the form field and how it works. So now if they try to hit subscribe, they can't submit this form field until they've entered some information in here. This gives you a little bit more flexibility, for example, to ensure that the user always provides an email address and you can contact them. In every element, you've got a content tab and a style tab. If we hop over to the style tab, we can start customizing the styles associated with each content block. This gives us the ultimate level of flexibility to customize the settings as much as you want. So we can see at the moment, this form field is set to a width of 256 pixels. Maybe we want it a bit smaller, so let's decrease it, and you can see this updates in real time. Let's put it back to how it was, so it's a perfect width. You can set the background colors, images, and also the spacing here. The spacing section enables you to align this form field pixel perfect against other elements. So at the moment, it's got horizontal spacing of 20 pixels and a vertical spacing of 10 pixels. So if we bump up the vertical spacing, you can see this is bumping up the padding around the field. You may also notice this toggle here. By default, it's set to normal. If we hop it over to advanced, this gives us a little more customization, so we can customize the spacing on each of the four corners, left, right, top and bottom. So this means you can align your form field elements or other elements to pixel perfect alignment. And finally, the display settings. By default, you'll see they're both selected. So this form field will display for both mobile users and desktop users. There may be some situations where you wish to offer a cut down form for mobile users simply because their screen's a lot smaller, so you don't want to clutter it up too much. If I click on this button here, it will deselect mobile. So this form field here will no longer display for people viewing on a mobile phone. We can toggle it on and off as desired. You will see over here we've got our image. You can add extra image blocks by dragging and dropping images across. So for example, let's drag a new image across. Perhaps you want another image to show just below the current one. So you can see we've got our default image here. Mouse over it, click on browse. We'll now be prompted to select an image from previous images you've uploaded, or alternatively, you can upload a new one. So let's just find an image to add. Perhaps we wish to add this image over here. Select it, click on use file. Okay, there's our dog there, and perhaps we now wish to get rid of this image here. We can mouse over, click on the delete button. Okay, you can start to see our form is now starting to take shape, but perhaps we don't like the change that we just made, and we can hop back using the Undoable module which we discussed earlier. So let's step back a bit. There's our top image back, there's our browse image back, and there we are, it's gone completely. So this gives you ultimate level of control over your form. When you finish designing your form and you're ready to use it, as we touched upon earlier, you can use the Actions menu at the top. Open the Actions menu and click on Preview Form. This will now generate a live preview of how your form is going to look. So we can see this is how it looks on desktop and also mobile phone here. You can customize these elements as much as possible. In this scenario here, we've got our graphic, but it doesn't look great at the bottom. It's kind of hidden, so maybe on mobile, let's get rid of it. Mouse over, click on the edit button, go to style, and for mobile, let's hide our form field. And also we can see we've got a bit of a gap below this image. This is because this content's quite tall. Let's reduce the spacing around some of our elements that sits equal. We can see we've got a spacer here. Let's bump it down a bit, and you can now see we're sitting flush at the bottom. Our form field looks perfect. Okay, let's preview it again on mobile. Preview form. A live generated preview will now be shown on screen. Okay, for desktop, that looks great. Let's have a look at mobile. Okay, that's brilliant. On mobile, we can now see we've got a cut down version of our form. This is how it would look on a mobile screen. You can see on the right hand side here, you can preview different devices to see exactly how it's going to look. So for example, here's an iPad Air, and also various iPhone models. When you finish, click close. Okay, now we've finished designing our form, the final bit will be to actually use it on our website. So as touched upon earlier, open the Actions menu and click on Embed Form. The software will now ask us which embed method we wish to use, script or HTML. As you can see, script is pre-selected as it's the recommended option. It's the easiest. It will provide you with a one-line bit of code that you simply copy and paste onto your website. The advantage of using this method is that if you make updates to your form in the future, this will be automatically updated on your website. HTML provides you with the full raw HTML. This is ideal if you need a little bit more flexibility. Say you're a web developer and you wish to go editing the HTML a bit further. This gives you greater customization, but the negative of this is that if you make updates to your form in the future, you would need to update the HTML code that you would then embed on your website. So we'd normally recommend for most use cases the script option. You can see here This provides us with one line bit of code. Copy it to clipboard, and it's just a case of following the instructions. So here it says, place the following code before the closing head tag on your website. It's just a case of copying and pasting it on your website, updating your site, and your form will start being rendered on your site ready to use. Okay, that's a quick tour of Subscribe. Please be sure to check out some of the other videos for more specific help guides. Remember, you can open the help menu at any point and click on documentation to search for a specific video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy using Subscribe.